Hello again, thanks for choosing us. To our first story now, the Attorney General, Govt, has served notice government will not relent in its efforts to weed out illegal mining and prosecute culprits. The AG spoke in court when Aisha Wang and 4 other accomplices were denied bail again by a High Court judge who said her mind had not changed on the plea of lawyers for the accused persons. It was also at the hearing that it came up that former national chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Freddie Blay, is representing the 4 accomplices of Aisha Wang. Kwekwa Asante was in court and now reports.
So it was an interesting day in court here at the High Court complex here in Accra when Attorney General Govt led government efforts to prosecute Aisha Wang and other foreign nationals who have all been arrested for engaging in illegal mining. Today, not only the Attorney General, Govt was in court. He was here with the Lands and Natural Resources Minister, Samuel Abujinapo, who offered some moral support to his colleague, Cabinet Minister, in dealing with this menace that some have said the government's fight is simply a farce.
Well, they've denied it. They've denied it. I mean, if there's any substance to any such allegations, I think the best way to proceed is to conduct investigations. But, well, those are not for me to decide. I mean, I think that the matters are still out play, and the minister has denied it flatly. I have full confidence in the minister in my ministry, and I don't think he will ever be involved in any such conduct. And early days yet, and his officials for this excellent work they are doing. As you may be aware, one of the key pillars on which we are seeking to deal with this issue of illegal small-scale mining is law enforcement and prosecution, particularly as it relates to foreigners. And as you can see, the Attorney General himself was in court, and he himself is conducting this trial and prosecuting this case in a very spirited and enthusiastic manner. I think it helped my work. We will continue with our efforts on all fronts, on the law enforcement, the reforms, and as well as the prosecutorial path, which we are fully committed to. As you can tell, this Aisha Wang lady, the government of President Akufo-Addo is committed to bring her and other persons who are involved in illegal mining to face the full rigors of our laws in this country.
We heard from the Attorney General who said this should send a signal to all those engaged in illegal mining that government is coming after them, and that in the particular case of Aisha Wang, they were ready to take the trial day by day and ensure that this case is disposed of expeditiously.
We indicated our readiness, preparedness to commence the trial. And in respect of Aisha Wang, we had filed most of the documents to be relied on. We had filed witness statements of 4 witnesses. We only needed to file about 4 more. And for that matter, we requested for a week. The judge, of course, in exercise of her discretion, decided to adjourn to 24th or so for us to come and conduct the case management conference. And we are ready to proceed with the trial on the case on a day-by-day basis. And the judge has also indicated the inclination to conduct the trial in that manner. So we are very happy with the progress of the matter. And I think it's very important that we indicate to the world our full commitment to prosecute all these illegal mining offenses. It's something that is of utmost importance to the nation. Yes, even though, of course, this lady found herself back into the country after her indefinite stay that had been granted in 2014 had been revoked in 2018. Yes, we'll prosecute her for both the past and current offenses. I think the most important point for me as a prosecutor is that, yes, she's still kept in custody. Of course, we would have wanted that the trial would be dealt with speedily, because a fair trial implies speed as well. And for that matter, I would have appreciated for her plea to be taken today. But it is not a major setback. We'll have her plea taken on the next agenda date. And the offense with which she's been charged will be dealt with as soon as possible. The Aisha Wang matter, we are ready to start trial, even if we are given an opportunity next week, as we indicated. The judge said we should come back to conduct what we call the case management conference on 24th. And I believe after that, we should do it on a case-by-day basis. The other matter has been adjourned to 1st November. I'm sure by that agenda date too, we'll be ready to proceed with the trial of that one as well.
One other interesting issue that came up in court is now that the other foreign nationals who are standing trial with Aisha Wang are now being represented by former national chairman of the NPP, Freddie Blay. When asked, the Attorney General said, well, Freddie Blay is a lawyer and he can take whatever case he wants to take. Lawyer for Aisha One in Krabia Ifadate tried to make an application for bail, but the judge said if he did, he would flatly refuse, and that her mind had not changed because just a few weeks back, Krabia Ifadate made an application for bail and was denied. From the High Court complex here in Accra, my name is Kweku Asante for Joy News.
Now, Director of Legal for the National Democratic Congress, Abraham Amaliba, believes Freddie Blake's involvement in the case sent wrong signals and could weaken the fight against Galamsey.
Well, professionally, as a lawyer, there's nothing wrong with that because as a lawyer, you are supposed to provide services, legal service to anybody who is seeking your services. However, on this matter of Galamsey, considering the fact that there are accusations and fingers pointing at government officials to be complicit in this Galamsey issue, if you have government lawyers already, including the fact that who is known to be connected to the MPP is the one who is representing Aisha One. Now to have the immediate past chairman of the MPP also joining forces to defend these Galamseyers, it gives the impression that, yes, government, as it were, is not interested in fighting the menace. One would have expected that such lawyers who are from the MPP stock would allow their conscience to guide them and for them to desist from providing those services. Because it goes a long way to, as it were, point fingers at the government. Already, there are some Ghanaians who feel that government is not doing enough. To then have government officials doing this by providing services to such persons would go a long way to defeat the purpose of the purpose that the president said he was out there to fight Galamsey. So I think that they should have allowed their conscience to dictate to them that this is wrong for them to do.
You think that Ghanaians cannot appreciate or delink the personalities involved from the case and the party?
So if at the end of the day, it is found out Aisha One is to be discharged or acquitted and discharged, then people will be making their deductions and saying that the whole trial was what somebody would say it was a fixed match. Yes, it was a fixed match. How can your Attorney General be prosecuting somebody in this matter of national interest? Then you have lawyers connected, and not just any lawyer. You have the former chairman of the MPP who sits in cabinet. Until now, he used to sit in cabinet. And I want to believe that cabinet abhors the Galamsey taking place in this country. So if you have the chairman who sat in parliament, sat in cabinet, still openly defending a Galamseyer, it gives the impression that clearly this is going to be a fixed match and nothing would happen to Aisha One.
Let's go to Zoom now and speak to one of the voices that have been, quite vociferous and consistent on this campaign. Ken Ashigbe is with the Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining. Dr. Ken Ashigbe joins us. Thank you very much, sir, for your time here on Joy News Prime. Let me start, first of all, with what you make of how the case has transpired so far, has traveled so far in court. The third time Aisha Wang is being denied bail, and you had the judge in court say, well, as reported by Kweku Asante, that she has made up her mind and that she will not grant Aisha Wang bail because she does not believe that she will be available for trial if given the opportunity to leave the custody.
Well, I think that is very, it's great news to hear that you have a judge that is looking at the case and have looked at this particular person who was deported but has come back into the country. Definitely, she's a flight risk. And so this demonstration by the judge that she's actually going to look at the case, on the basis of it, and have denied bail to them. It's gratifying, really, really gratifying to note that this is what is happening, and the fact that from all intents and purposes, justice, at least from what we are seeing, is being served. And I'm also gratified by the fact that the media is training its eyes, eagle eyes on the case, and ensuring that we are covering every aspect of it, and so that the judiciary, the prosecutors, the investigators would know that we're paying attention to it. And I think it's also worthy of mention that you have the Attorney General himself, taking particular interest in this particular case, and he is going to court to ensure that the right things is being done. And not only is he going to court, but he's speaking to the media also as the case is going on. And I think this is the way to go to ensure that justice is not only done, but justice is also seen to be done.
And as you heard him there, he's actually ready to start with prosecution if the court gives the leeway for him to do so. But he was also today accompanied by the Minister for Land and Natural Resources, who granted an interview as well to the media. Now, when the issue of his deputy, George Mekuduka, came up, he said, as far as he's concerned, he does not believe that George Mekuduka will ever engage in illegal mining. What are your thoughts on that, given that we are encouraging that persons with information on illegal mining and the persons that are behind it should actually come forward with information? Yes, granted, George Duka has flatly denied, and on my platform yesterday he did so. But what do you make of the response, the reaction of his boss, the minister?
But I think the minister, we need to take everything he said in context. So there was a bit of it that he talked about his person, me personally not believing it. And I think it's, it's something that we need to grant him. But in the same breath, he also made mention of the fact that, it's not for him to decide, and the investigations that should go on to be able to prove whether somebody was innocent or somebody was guilty. And it's important that within our context of the person being innocent to proving guilty, is preserved. But the only way the person could be proven guilty or proven otherwise is if investigations should go on.
Right.
And I think there's an invitation that has already been given to us by the president that, if such things are done, it would be investigated and would be looked into. So for me, I think it's in the interest of the Honorable Deputy Minister himself, to submit himself to investigations, and also to the person who has also made the allegation to also provide the evidence and to be able to back all of this. And I think we need to give the minister the benefit of the doubt, because in the same breath that he talked about the fact that he personally, knowing the minister, the deputy minister, did not believe, he also mentioned the fact that, it was not for him to be able to determine it. So I would hope that, this thing will be investigated, and if truly the minister is innocent, it's established. If otherwise it's also found not to be so, then prosecution should take place.
Right. Now, does it matter or not if Freddie Blay, the former national chairman of the NPP, takes over the case in defense of the 4 other accomplices of Aisha Wang in this particular issue? Does it matter at all?
Well, I think that we need to situate that within the fact that every suspect is guaranteed some representation. So, and it's for them to be able to choose who represents them. Sitting back and looking, if I were sitting in the shoes of the suspect, I'm sure they had a strategy choosing, the former chairman of the NPP, who would have happened to also worked with the Attorney General before, and also we know the stature that he brings in there. So in terms of the optics does not, bode well, but we also need to realize the fact that, well, fortunately, he's now a former chairperson of the party. He no more sits in parliament. So I would leave that and say that what is important is for the media to train their eyes on this particular case so that we ensure that no hanky-panky, thing happens in court. But definitely his stature, in terms of the perception game, and even in terms of, what have something to do. And I'm sure it's the reason. If I were advising, the party so far as, the whole PR thing were concerned, I would have asked that if they could have avoided this case as a deputy, a former chairman of the party. But, well, I think the MPP would make the point that he's a private person, he's made his decision in terms of which cases to take. We've been in this country and we've seen people from both sides, the NDC and the MPP, defend particular people. So they go, the lawyers go together, to court to defend a particular person. So I would not read too much into this. The only thing is that we really can ensure that justice is being done is by the fourth estate of the realm to make sure that we're following this case as closely. And I trust Joy FM with the multimedia, with the way you're following this, and the rest of the media are really following this case. I believe, I just have a good feeling that this would go the way of this country. And I like the fact that the Minister for Lands was in court as well. He's also a lawyer, providing all the support. And all of us should ensure that the same thing should be done.
And we are not relenting at all. We are not relenting.
But the only thing I would have hoped, if I can add that, is that the same way we're going with this particular case, in the situation of Akonta Mining Limited, where, the minister has issued a press statement calling the MPP Ashanti Regional Chairman's company, and who he is also CEO of it. I would have wished by this time the IGP would have arrested him, investigations would have happened, and with the evidence that is available, he would also have been prosecuted the same way that this is going. And this is the thing that would ensure that everybody would realize that, we're not playing with this issue of Galamsey when our turbidity levels are about 2,600. This is not something to joke with.
Dr. Ashidbe, I'm grateful that you could join us, and you can join the conversation or the campaign with the hashtag #NoToGalamsey. Meanwhile, the